All right, here's a couple of good factoring questions. So this one says the height of basketball is uh, given by this thing there, where t is time. And in A, they say find an equivalent expression for the function by factoring. So I can take out of this one a common factor. Looks like I can take a t out and probably a -8, which is done right there. Let me just make sure that's right. -16t squared, beautiful. And this is a negative, and that's a positive 72t. So that's correct. Good. And so then in B, they say perform a partial check of A by evaluating both expressions for h of t at t at 2. So let's do that with the first one. So -16 times 2 squared plus 72t. And we'll do the same thing as well with this function that is already factored. So -8 times 2 times 2 times 2 minus 9. So if it's factored correctly, I should get the same answer on both sides. So 2 squared is 4, so this would be -16 times 4 plus 72. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put a 2 in there. Times 2. So this would be a -64. 72 times 2 is probably about 144. When you subtract both, you get an 80. And that was what you had there. And then here, this would be a -16. And then inside here, you've got 4 minus 9 would be a -5. And -16 times -5, yeah, is positive 80. So they both check out. So that's the partial check they were talking about. It looks like what you had done here was good. You factored it properly. And then you do get 80 in each, and you get that by plugging in a 2 in this factored form and in the original form. Good. All right. Next question was how to factor this one. This looks like the correct answer. What I do with this one is with their fractions, I'm just having a ballpark. So the y I'm splitting into y and y. And then I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to a 1/9, and they have to add to a -2/3. Well, there's only a couple numbers that would work. Like for 1/9, you could go 1/9 times 1. But if you add those, you get 1 and 1/9. You don't get that thing up there. Or to get 1/9, you could go 1/3 times 1/3. Okay, that'll give you a positive 1/9. But when you add those, you get a positive 2/3, which isn't -2/3. So I could change that one to a -1/3 and a -1/3. So multiply, it gets positive 1/9, and if you add those, you do get a -2/3. So those are your numbers, and so those are the ones you plug in right there and right there. Hopefully that helps you with those two questions. It looks like you're on the right track.